one. We're live.
Morning. Here we are. It's Saturday, and I'm doing another morning routine. We call this one the Morning Glory. I'm doing Systema running. I'm heading up a steep, but not a very long, but a steep hill. Maybe you can see it. And as you see, I'm not going at a fast pace. I'm pretty loose. This is a different type of running than the usual straining stuff that I used to do. I'll explain that to you when we get to the top of the hill. Let me get a couple breaths. Okay, so I did a few minutes of that, feeling warmed up. Years ago, I used to be a competitive distance runner. I would do 50, 60, 80 miles a week training. I used to race, and let me tell you, that wrecked up my body pretty bad. It ages you, stiffens you up, the constant straining and hunching and pushing and striving, it depletes you. So several years ago, I heard about Systema. It's a Russian martial art. I bought a book, and a lot of it's about breathing. That's where I get a lot of the breathing exercises for some of the walking in the regular episodes that you might have seen. Well, in that book was also something about running, so I do the same thing. This is just a loosening type run. So if you watch here, nice and tall, soft knees. I'm not way up on the toes. Nice full foot. And you see I stay loose, shaking everywhere. The main thing is the breathing. I breathe 3 to 4 inhales on 3 to 4 steps, and same on the exhales. Inhale for 3 to 4 steps, exhale for 3 to 4 steps. When I get on a hill, I got to slow down. It gets a little tougher. If I really lose track, I got to take some quick breaths. And believe it or not, it gets it back under control. So now, after doing that, I'm feeling a little warm and loose. I'm going to do some hip flexor stretching. This is a bugaboo in a lot of people. These muscles run from the inner thigh all the way up to low back, and all kinds of crazy stuff happening, especially if you spend all day sitting. These things tighten up and it racks you up badly. So I learned this exercise from my Rolfer, Sam Adams. Great guy, same name as the beer company. And it looks like this. We're going to stretch the hip flexors, and to do that, that's the back leg here, right? So it's under a little bit of a stretch already. Now, we're going to take the arm up to complete the stretch. So it's going to look like this. Stretch up, breathe now. Big inhale, belly breaths. Remember the belly breaths. So I'm going to back up a little bit. Big breath. And then we walk to the other leg. Breath. Breath. Now here's the thing about this. If I'm just reaching in the sky, it's kind of a strain on my back, and it's only partway working this stretch. For this to really work, the back leg, the heel, should be driving into the ground. So I'm pushing my heel away from me, and I'm stretching my palm up so it looks like this. On the inhale. Oh, I can really feel it in there. Now you notice I also am twisting my arm in the air. That further helps unlock the whole chain. You can actually feel it as you move it. So I'm going to do several of these. Just watch. One. Whoops. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6, 7, 8, let's do 2 more. 9, you can even turn your head. That helps stretch your shoulder a little bit on that side. So, wow, that feels good. I feel 1 or 2 inches taller, believe it or not. And now that I've done that, I think I can work on my shoulders a little better. So today I'm going to oil up my joints a little bit. How do you do that? You need to move. You need to move the joints to get the fluid pumped in there. It acts like a pump. Keeps the joints lubricated. So there's literally hundreds of these you could do. I'm going to show you like 3 or 4 of them right now. Otherwise you'd be here all day. First, a couple rules of thumb. 1, think of the worst pain you've ever felt. This is the way I've had it described to me. Think of the worst pain you've ever felt in your life. That's a 10, whatever it was. Maybe it was childbirth. I'll never have the luxury of feeling that, but that's a 10, let's say. These should not be above a 3 at any time. If they're above a 3, either you need to have them checked out with a doctor, or if you know how to work around it, you reduce the speed and reduce the range of motion. And through time, sometimes, it could take months, it actually improves. Well, you still have to work the joint. If you keep it locked down because of pain, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. So have it checked out or do some of this stuff. So first one, in my shoulder, this is very simple. I'm just doing circles. Here it is from the side, just like so. Notice my elbows staying pretty straight. Notice how my arm's twisting as I go. Palm out here, palm out here, twist, palm out there. I'm letting my chest open up a little bit. Don't open up your whole body too much. Both directions, and then the other side. And I'm going to go about this speed. Now if you're really tight in your chest, a lot of guys especially, or you got a lot of problems, I would stay with the single arm version. The double arm version is going to be a little tougher if you're tight in there. But notice I'm still, maybe you can't notice, still doing that belly breathing. The idea here is not to build up a lot of tension in your joints. This is not a tension type of exercise. This is to get the joints loose, to oil them up. Go both directions now. Now go backwards. It's like a backstroke. A little harder. You can even alternate them. I like, when I've done enough of these, to just go real loose. I can really feel this in my midsection, right? Now, I couldn't do this right away years ago. This took me time to work up to this. That's what you should do. If you haven't done this before, only do a few. Each day add a couple more on. Backwards, same thing. And let's go across your body too. So notice I'm going across. I can go both arms this way, both directions, right? And then I can do both at the same time. One crosses in front, then the other crosses. Reverse direction. And as I said, there's a million combinations. We're just doing shoulders. There's elbow exercises, wrists, all kinds of stuff. Last, I'm going to work on ankles, feet, knees, and hips. I'm going to go over to the grass because my knees have to go on the ground. So let's head over to the grass. I'll get out my trusty gloves. It rained last night, so the grass is still a little wet. So the first of these, I want you to imagine there's a rope here. Now for me, the height I imagine about here. On you, it might have to be lower down, and you'll see why. What I'm gonna do is step my right leg over the rope, the imaginary rope, keep my balance, bring the left leg around, turn around, then lead with the opposite leg and go back. Here's the thing with this, you want to step without a bunch of contorting in your upper body to get across. The get over that rope. That's not really going to get you where you want to go if you're doing that. So lower the rope and step over. Whatever you might be down this low. Your balance might be challenged just going that high. But I'm going to go my regular height today. Step, step. That's one. I'm just going to do a few of these. Step, step. A couple more. Step, step, and step, step. Okay, so now the rope is still here. We're going to go under the rope. What I'm going to do is get myself under the rope like so. So there was an old episode, one or two, you might have seen what I call the good morning stretch. This is basically the same kind of move. A flat back. Notice I don't bend over and hunch like some walnut or something. Nice and long, and you do that by pushing your hips back. So here's the imaginary rope. What I'm going to do is step under it and come up on the other side. So bend, step, come up on the other side. Bend, step, come up on the other side. I'll do two more. Bend, step, other side. Bend, step, other side. Now, if you haven't done this kind of stuff before, I recommend you only do about 6 of each of these to start with. Each time you do it, add a couple on until you get to 20. There's more advanced versions, but these right here are pretty good as they are. Next, let's go over to the flagpole here. This is a regular flat-footed squat. Now, a lot of people in today's society have trouble squatting, at least in this country that I live, United States. There's other countries where they're squatting all day. They're having lunch, doing business deals in Africa, in Asia, much different world out there. Not here. So we got to get it a different way. You need to be holding on to something for this to work. Notice my heels are down. Notice my back is nice and long. I'm not all crunched up like that walnut I just mentioned. Nice and tall. Then I'm just going to rock. Nice and easy, back and forth, like so. Keeping a little tension in these muscles here. Now, if your knees are fragile, that might be too much for you. So remember, don't go past the point of 3. Let's go, maybe you are right here, and you need to rock here. Right? Notice my back is still flat. I'm not all rounded, banging my head in the pole, like so. So that's 3. 4th one, I'm gonna go sit on the grass like so. This starts working your hips a little more side to side. Glue your hands behind you like so, and open your chest a little bit. So puff your chest out a little. Then take your legs and kind of what I call a figure 4 position like you would see in wrestling. From here, all you're going to do is take your knees back and forward. Sometimes your legs start sliding out. Pull them back in.
Good boy. Yeah, kid. How you doing, Wacky?
Now, you know, a lot of people,
Come on, boy.
I've seen them do this,
Hey, Wacky.
trying to get their knees to the floor, and when they do, their hands lift from the ground.
Good catch.
Like so.
Good catch, kid. Oh,
Looks like we got a dog playing catch right here. So let's keep your hands to the ground.
good boy.
Keep your knees under control. Don't slam them. Nice and slow. Breathe. Get the tension out. Okay, next one. Now what we're gonna do is step back. Let's come over this one. Now we're going to do is step back about a foot, like so. Lower that knee to the ground. So I'm right here. Then I'm going to take my hip as close to my heel as I can. Now you'll see this knee here is fully bent. So not everyone's going to be able to do that. You might only be able to hold it here and not do this down part. So you might only hold here. plant this front foot hard in the ground and stand up, step back, same thing here. That's 2, I'll do a couple more. There's 3. And there's 4. So now the knees are starting to get fully bent, warming up even more. Next, we're going to go into a full squat. This is kind of like a classic deep knee bend that they used to do many years ago. With the heels off the ground, the knees pointed forward. For a lot of reasons, I'm not exactly sure why, this has been kind of contraindicated. A lot of people don't do it anymore. I think that's a mistake. Knees need full bending. So, my calves are nice and tight. I can feel them holding on. Don't just plop down and hold on for dear life with the fronts of your knees. Get some tension in your hamstrings and your calf, and just hold in a balance. Now, you might have trouble with this balance. So, if you do, find something to hold on to. Put a couple fingers on something. Notice I'm not bent over. I'm nice and tall. And stand up. Now that, again, if you haven't done that, I would hold about 10 seconds to start. Gradually work up in time. Next one, I'm going to go back on the ground. Notice how my feet are under me like so. You might have already felt this. This is best to do them bare feet if you can. For a lot of people, sitting back like that on their feet is agony. Their feet are so locked up, so bound up because of tight shoes, because of no exercise, because of a lot of running or some activity. Feet are all messed up. So if that's the case, you might want to put a pillow or something here so you can only go back a certain distance. When that gets easier, get a smaller pillow until eventually you can sit all the way back. So it just looks like this. Under control. This is one of my favorite ones. My right knee almost always adjusts. Notice I stand nice and tall at the top, right? One more time. Like so. Last one. This one, a little complicated. I recommend you go back and watch it several times. That's how I had to learn it.
Guys, I just want you to know if you got me in any of your footage, you can't use that. I'm just telling you. I don't know why you were shooting directly at me. But if there's anything, I'm a professional model. If there's anything with me in it, you can't use it. Sorry. But you guys, do your thing. Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm up on my balls of my feet. Apparently someone is worried.
That's my neighbor. He's in my building.
So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm in the squat position that I showed you before. Take one knee down, the other leg forward, and come up tall. Then, take your butt back to your heel. Take that leg back in the air. Now here you might need to use your hands for support. And take the other leg back. Take the other knee down. Step your leg forward. Take your butt to your heel. Right? Butt to the heel. Just like this. Down. Bringing that leg back up. Take the leg back. So it'll look like this. I'll do it in normal speed. Now, you definitely might need to use hands for support as you're learning this. No problem with that. Whatever you can to make it work. I recommend you go back. If you can slow it down even, I don't know if you can in Facebook, watch it a few times. And I recommend only doing a few of those because that's a little more advanced. That's why it's at the end, you're nice and warmed up. So my hips, my knees, my ankles, my feet, they're feeling better. My shoulders a little looser. I stand taller. I'm gonna go jog home. I have a 3-hour plus car ride as soon as I get home. So I wanted to make sure to do this before I got in the car. And during that ride, we might even stop halfway I'll take about 5 or 10 minutes to do some more. It makes a huge difference. Someday I'll do an entire episode about that. How I do those long drives to Chicago and feel great by the time I get back. So until next week, I'm only gone 2 days. I'll be back. I'll see you next Saturday. And if you have any questions at all from what I just did, please ask. I know you're out there watching because I see names come up. So ask. I'm not going to bite you. You could ask me an instant message, email, write on Facebook, however you want to do it. Until next Saturday, see you then.
I take one step each day.
What's that, Jonas? I heard a question.
Unless you and I.
Oh, okay. They want me to use my tagline I use in the episodes. Let's you and I take one step each day to being younger than we were last year. See ya.